Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and then a model kit perhaps, but at the very least, I'm 100% totally here to talk to you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those back at me. Let me know you're here. If you're not a subscriber, you just want to say hi, you can just say hi. Lashbrook is here. Lord Crashton is here. We're already off to a killer start. Lord Crashton wants to hear that gong. Redeeming that gong. It's time for that gong, and here we go. Dude Wants the Rug is here. What up? Aristophan is here. We got Julianne Hardstone is here. Opening gong for Lord Crashes, and yeah, we're doing it. Starting with that gong. And Mr. Bob, hello. Already off to a killer start. High quality folks here. Ready to go for it. We're doing it up. Model kit stuff is coming later. We got one more Lego thing to build. The monster truck took 2 streams this past Saturday, 2 nights ago. We did the second version, the truck. Now we're going to do the tractor. We should finish it up in the stream. We might have even time to start the next kit, which is nonsense. Because it is, we'll pull it out here, or the booklet. Look, I don't know what this is. It's a super deformed. It's a chibi. It's an SD. It is Build Divers related. It chibi, it kind of, humanizes this Gundam. I do know that it transforms into a dragon. What becomes a dragon. You can get dragon mode, which is wonderful. She's great. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about Valkylander, other than wings and dragon form. Look, a model kit that transforms, I love it. A model kit that becomes a dragon, I love it. Dragon, love it. Just on its own. Dragon stuff, great. Different helmet. Because it's got a different helmet that then goes on. Well, it's green, so that's bad. Yeah, into it. Excited to build that thing soon. We got to do Lego first, though. We still got our fun minifig person here with his plastic mustache and his goggles that go over painted on sunglasses because he's a double glasses person. We do love that. And yeah. Somebody asked me, like, Pat, are you going to build the Monster Burger Truck again on stream? No. I am going to, once this is over, post photo on my own time, break it down, and then rebuild it as the Monster Truck and put it on display in my collection because it's rad, because it's a Monster Burger Truck, so it's joining the collection. But I'm not going to do that on stream because I already built it on stream once, and there's no reason to do it again. Look, I got a lot of kits to build, and I got to build them. All right, here's Build Divers Re-Rise is honestly the best Gundam show I've ever seen. You should try to watch the prequel when you get some time. Okay, I might take you up on that. So one of the things I've been doing, because a combination of shows that I like, some of the shows that I was interested in watching this season are delayed, because of course they are. And then other shows that I could be watching, I'm not. Like, I went from 4 shows to 1 show, 5 shows total to 1 show that I watch on Sunday and Monday because of delays, and then also being like, Shiraneko, I don't really like this, and Woodpecker, I don't really like this. So I ended up watching a couple shows, like old stuff, just hitting random. And so I am looking for things to try, things I haven't tried before, and seeing if there's some things. At least one of the series, we'll talk about in the second hour, at least one of the series that I've never seen before, I'm going to keep watching because it's pretty good. I watched 2 episodes, and I'm, like, into it. I just never watched it. All right, I got to retweet my own tweet here. Twitter. We're going to get into this as we start building. I'm annoyed. It's not the work. Look, I'm just going to write building. I'm annoyed with what happened with Twitter, and it's not like somebody tweeted something, which is normally why I'm mad about Twitter. It's not even what I tweeted today about how over the past 2 weeks I've lost like 20 something followers on Twitter. Because like I was joking, but I also mean it. If people are like getting off Twitter and not using it anymore, that rules. Good on you. Congratulations. Oh yeah, let's go Maine. Yeah, Maine time. So we're gonna build this tractor. Um, so here's what's up. Uh, I'd imagine it's bots. Yes, Lord Crashington. Because Twitter has been doing some updates, and they did some API updates pretty recently, it's most likely bots have been deleted. That's definitely most likely what it is. But the thing that is annoying is because of these API changes, I don't use an app on my desktop for Twitter. I don't use a Twitter desktop client. I just use a Chrome tab because I'm still a Chrome person. That's just me. I use Chrome, whatever. That's what I do. That's what I like. So anyway, I'm using Chrome, but uh, this last update, not the one that's coming here, Burger Tractor. Indeed, Slow Bird. We are working on the Burger Tractor here. This is the third of the 3-in-1 for the Monster Burger Truck. Yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna be wrapping up this kit by building this, and then on my off time, I'll return it to its former burger truck glory on big old wheels instead of carting around big wheels. Anyway, so I was using up until very recently, like literally today, I finally said goodbye to it, a Chrome extension called Good Twitter, which is a fun ref joke because it's not good. But what Good Twitter did was it undid a lot of the stylistic changes that had come in. Harold is now hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that as always, my friend. It undid some of the things that Twitter had changed, where the notifications are, the layout, and also just the kind of formatting stuff. I'm writing that extension until they disable legacy Twitter. Oh my God, I really hate Twitter's UI changes too. Yeah, well, Lord Crashington. So the thing that started happening was ads still started showing up, and then also a thing that started happening pretty recently with Good Twitter was I started seeing people I follow and their replies to people I don't follow. And so I would see a post from someone I don't follow that wasn't a retweet, that was just somebody saying something who I don't know, and then a reply from someone who I do know. And I didn't want to see that. And Good Twitter used to block that. And then it stopped blocking that all the time. Because they made some AI changes to unsupport that. They're basically trying to make sure you can't use it anymore. So I finally given it up. I've changed some things around. It's basically put everyone who you follow's feed on your feeds. Yeah. I mean, I'm still gonna figure out ad stuff and my ad blocker that I use for not every site. I don't block ads at every site, but that disables a lot of pop-up stuff. I kind of don't care how Twitter looks. Christian, that's totally fine, and I understand that. I get that. No sweat on that. Mostly for me, it was just like keeping posts like I don't block retweets because my friends sometimes retweet things. Like a lot of times, I follow accounts that retweet things that are interesting and engaging and cool. And I want to see those things, or important, or silly, or horny. Sometimes my friends retweet horny things, and I'm obliged to look at those things. So I don't mind retweets, but it's their choice. They're the ones that say, hey, I made this thing, I think people would want to see that. I'm going to retweet that. Or that's cool, or that's fun, or whatever. Or god dang. I gotta retweet this. Um, but it's their choice. Whereas Twitter deciding that I should see what a friend of mine or just someone I find interesting, what they said to someone I don't know. That's where I'm like, I don't. What are we doing here? In case you missed it, yeah. Tweets are out of order like 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, 20 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then also like, and then it's a similar thing of, it does bother me when they're like, here's a tweet that you have nothing to do with, that you have no interest in. Did you know that someone you follow on here liked it? We wanted you to know they liked it. Or it is someone you follow. We also want you to know not just that this person tweeted something. We want that you know. We want to make sure you know that someone else liked it. Check it out. Mm. Yeah, I mean it's just like it to me, Christian. The thing was that I had solved it. That good Twitter, the Chrome extension, basically did what I wanted, what I was looking for, which was to limit the amount of that stuff that Twitter could do. And now Twitter has figured out, has made it so that it doesn't work as well. Now, maybe somebody else will make a new Chrome extension in the coming weeks that will address those things. I will keep my eyes peeled. Um, but it's in right now. I want to stay connected with people. That's the goal, is to stay connected with people, and then obviously also to promote my business, which is what this is here. I want to promote the stuff that I'm doing and let people know what's going on with me, and what I'm up to, and promote my stuff. So you live with it and you deal with it, but it is sometimes pretty frustrating. It can be, at least. All right, so we got to do gray, dark gray. Uh, Switch me back to home again. Yeah. Gooder Twitter. Yes. Even gooder Twitter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The app, the Twitter app does that all the time, where you decide like, hey, I just want to see latest, and it's like, well, you haven't looked at this in 6 hours, so you probably want to see what your friend wrote 6 hours ago, and you're like, no. I mean, maybe, but I'll decide that. Yeah, that is frustrating that it resets itself. It makes its decision on what you want, more rather than letting you make the decision. It's frustrating. Look, complaining about Twitter seems nonsensical in these days and ages. But I will also say this: me worried about me being annoyed by Twitter is something that is lower stakes than the elephant in the room, which is, I think I'm going to have to move, and I don't want to do that. Uh, I had actually quit looking at Twitter for several months. I miss my friends though. Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, it's staying connected with people. It's keeping up with what they're doing, especially with not having like convention season, or going out to work to see people at work. It's still important, and of course promoting myself and what I'm doing. But yeah, so my roommate, as you may know, my roommate moved out, and I've been trying to get somebody to move in, and that has been increasingly difficult to get someone to move into the apartment. Um, and I don't think I'm going to get anybody from June 1st. So I guess on June 1st, I'm going to tell my landlord that I'm moving out. Uh, so I guess I'm moving out on June 1st. And I don't want to move, and I don't want to look for a new apartment, but like, so the last time, this roommate here, right? It took a little while to get him moved in. He was fine. He came in, and it was cool. But it took a while to find somebody that wanted to move in. But I at least would have people ask about the place. Like they might not like it, or they might be not right for it, or I might get a lot of red flags about them, and be like, "Oh no, I don't want you to move in." But I would at least get like interest. There has been so little interest in this apartment, which is in a cool neighborhood, uh, near the subway, which in another world would be great, would be a plus. Now it doesn't really matter, but it can be a plus in the future. Maybe it'll be a plus. That has like good bones to it, and the most important thing is cheap. It's inexpensive. It is not an expensive place, but I have not gotten the interest that I need, and I can only afford to pay double my rent. Well, less than double my rent because I was always paid more because I have a large room. I have enough room that I can set all this up in my bedroom without moving anything. I move my monitors. I move my monitor stands from my computer desk to the table that I work on. That's what I do. Uh, that's how I make that work. Um, and so I'm like, okay, am I? I think I'm gonna move, and I don't want to, but I think I gotta, and because it might be easier for me to find a new place. And hey, maybe I can find a place that's cheaper. Now, obviously, my needs are not that great. I would like there are things that I would like. So let's talk about wants and needs, right? Talk about our wants and our needs, right? So what do I need? I need a good, solid internet connection, preferably uh, where I can plug in because my desktop does not have a Wi-Fi card, so I would have to run an Ethernet cable. So hopefully I am near a router. The hope is that I am in a situation that is very good internet, very solid internet, so that I can stream without worry, right? Because is one of streaming is my major source of income right now, guaranteed source of income. I have other avenues for income. This is a guaranteed source of income monthly. Um, and then also, uh, my Patreon is pretty much tied directly to me doing this. It would definitely take a hit if my Patreon of here's another way to support me in my streams, and I wasn't streaming. So, gotta have a good internet connection for streaming. Gotta be a place where the people that I live with, person or people that I live with, is okay with me streaming. That's gotta happen. Uh, and then, so those are important, right? Those are important things. Um, some sort of stability, either being that there's an ongoing lease that someone is in there and I'm subletting, or it's a long-term thing. That's obviously important. Uh, but honestly, that's kind of it. And then there's like wants, right? If it had FiOS or really, really, really good internet, it's got to have at least okay internet, pretty good internet. But if we had like really great internet, like go, I'm going to admit it, I've been very spoiled by FiOS. It's expensive now after the order, and will probably be fairly costly when I cancel it. But like, I'm mostly thinking like, okay, well, I really hope that wherever I end up has great internet. And then, like, I'm hoping that whoever I end up moving in with is not just okay with what I'm about to do. Uh, Modern Wi-Fi cards are good enough. I would not hold out for a wired connection. Well, Mr. Bob, I like a wired connection. For my desktop, so I don't have. Also, it's one less thing that I don't have to buy that, or that I don't have to stream off my laptop when I move, just because my desktop, like I have to get a card or whatever. Like I know that Wi-Fi is pretty good, but I'm always trying to limit the issues I have with streaming, um, and also the a lot of the various gigs that I get are involve anyway, like having a dedicated connection and generally saying like, hey, I've got very solid internet is a selling point for the things that I'm applying for, which I would like to be long term, but sometimes are not. It is nice to be able to say like, hey, I got good internet. Don't worry, I can download that thing very fast and get it to you. Make my changes and then get it back to you very quickly. Um, I'm mostly just spoiled. It's nice to have, but so there are things that I'm like certainly looking for uh, that I don't know like if that's going to work out. You know, I hope that I'm staying with people that are cool with my life and what I do. Uh, I have to, I'm going to be looking for a place that's probably smaller than what I have. Certainly, I would imagine that I would have less space. So I have to think about that and thinking about like uh, if the place I'm going to move into, if most of where I'm going to move into has like my room or whatever is going to be all model kit boxes. A lot of it will. Uh, which is not the biggest problem in the world, but certainly is a thing that I have to like think about. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be thinking about, and then obviously I have to think about like the how that's going to work, getting the moving and the process of doing that. One of the I would hope that I'm saying June 1st, and that I can find a place that will let me move in over time and let me move in waves and move stuff over and move in early because they have the space. Like that is there's no guarantee of that, but that would be very nice. So, like I don't know. I don't know how any of this is going to work. I'm just going to be doing my best to figure this all out as best I can. Um, and there's always the possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but my landlord could, make me some sort, ask to make an arrangement with me. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to move out June for, I'm going to move out July 1st. Uh, and they could say, like, let's cut you a deal so that we have guaranteed income and we don't have to do the renovations we definitely don't want to be doing right now, and get two new people in here. Uh, like they might want to make a deal. I don't know. Uh, it is a lease agreement, so I'm not worried about ruffling any feathers with that about when I'm leaving. But I also should stress I really like this apartment. I like the bones of it. I like the neighborhood a lot. I like my room. Um, uh, I'm probably going to. I gotta do some measurements on some things. But also, like, I kind of like the idea of throwing out a lot of stuff. That sounds pretty good because there's a bunch of things in here I don't need anymore, and I'm totally okay with having them go away. Uh, there shouldn't be bones in your apartment, pet. I would push for a deal. Might not be perfect for either party, but you at least know. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they're. I mean, like, who knows? What I can't do is do what I've been doing, which is go through what little money I have faster and faster as I wait, as I pray that everyone who owes me money for the work I'm doing for them pays me at a reasonable time, which has been very clearly not happening. Definitely not happening. I'm not getting paid when I need to get paid for the work I'm doing as fast as I would like to, and this is unsustainable. Yeah, it's just not. It's not a sustainable thing, and it's a shame. I like this place. I've been here a long time. Um, now I gotta update, and I'm gonna find a new place to live, and I'm gonna have to update where my absentee ballot is gonna go, so I can vote by mail. Oh man, just the very idea of moving right now just feels like awful. The idea of like gutting some stuff and not taking things and like starting fresh in a new place isn't bad, but I'm definitely like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is what I want. Just packing. Ugh. Just moving all my shit. Just the idea of moving all my stuff. So I should say this, folks. I don't talk. I think I've said this before, but I've been in this apartment for a very long time. This is the first apartment that I've stayed in for more than 2 years since I moved to New York. I lived in 7 apartments in 6 years, and then I moved in here. There was one place I lived only for a month because uh, I was getting ready to move with another person, and I stayed with her for a month in her 2 bedroom before we moved into a new place together with another person. Um, so I only lived with her for a month, and I actually had most of my stuff. Most of my stuff was like in storage. So I lived on an air mattress, which I never want to do again. Just so y'all know, that sucks. Living on an air mattress is the worst. So I never want to do that again. Um, but yeah, I've been thinking like it's like, well, if I end up in a small place, I could take like instead of taking my huge giant bed, I could take my day bed from the living room, which becomes a couch, and I could just take that. I'm like, oh, that isn't bad. Kind of do that. Um, but yeah, ooh, we got a new host. Oletku is hosting. Thank you very much for hosting. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. We're doing some Lego here. We're talking about life changes for one Pat Baer. That's me. The possibility of me having to move. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the idea of moving at all. Um, but maybe it's a grand new adventure. Maybe I'm going to find a place that is cheaper than what I pay now and is a cool spot that I'm excited about. And honestly, hey, let's be real, y'all. The alternative, I mean, the best thing would be I get a new roommate that wants to move in, but that just doesn't seem likely. So by saying I'm going to move, that means that it becomes my job not to find someone to live with, but find a place to live, and then I can be proactive about that. And I'm waiting on people to say yes or no, but I can do a lot of work towards it. So that sounds good. Um, all of this is better than the third option, which nobody wants. You don't want it, and I don't want it. Because the third option is that I get a storage facility somewhere here in New York and move all my stuff into there, and then I go to South Carolina and move in with my folks until New York theater is back. And I don't want to do that. Um, I don't want to move to South Carolina, if only because they're moving around. Like, no, I don't want to, like, my own health and safety, but then also like, no, I don't want to do that. At the age of 40, I don't want to move into my parents' house. I'm going to be 40 in June, but whatever. Uh, Had to figure out how to host using a Steam controller. Well, you did it, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the host. Um, welcome. Yeah, and thank you. Uh, yeah, so that's the big thing right now is me kind of figuring out like what I'm gonna do about this whole like thing. But yeah, I would prefer not to go and move down where my folks are, because that's not really an option. I mean, it is an option, but it's not really one. Also, uh, oh, Christian, that's a great point. And I should you know I should say that I do have the option. My folks are very supportive and very helpful. I mean, they're gonna help me out with the whole idea of me finding a place and all that. They're going to help me, well, probably a lot with just the idea of moving and all of that stuff. Like I'm sure, but yeah, I should say that like having the fact that I have the safety net of my parents have a spare bedroom that and they would welcome me there. Um, like that is true and real, and I should be grateful for that, and I am grateful for that. That I have that option. That is a real thing that I am thrilled that I have. Not everyone has that, and that is a thing that I can be very thankful for. But I also know that the idea of me moving there for a while makes it very hard to think about me moving back. You know what I mean? It would be the transition to a new version of Pat Baer and Pat Baer's life, not a long vacation while we figure things out. So I'm aware of that from experience with other people. Oh yeah, shout out to supportive family. I've always said that uh, they don't always get all the elements of what I do and who I am and what's going on with me, um, but they've always been in my corner. I always give the shout out that like I did a year. My mom said just go to regular college for a year first. You don't want to go to college. You want to move to New York. You want to go to acting school. We have the money to send you to college. Please go to college for a year. So I went to school for a year. They had a good theater program and did my classes and didn't enjoy anything that wasn't theater and couldn't get into acting stuff because I was a freshman, but I got to do technical theater and hone my craft on the technical side, which has served me to this day, and I really appreciated that. And I looked at it and I looked at all the stuff that I was going to have to do to continue to do that and said, what if I went to New York? Uh, at least you don't have to keep having to explain you're not a salesperson for over a decade. Yeah. Um, so I was able to say like, hey, I'm going to. I would prefer not to do this. And then I went to New York for acting school and found the UCB theater and comedy stuff and started doing that and taking classes. And the idea of classes made sense to them, but a lot of other stuff I was doing didn't make as much sense to them, and they were a little unsure of what was going on with me. And then my dad came because they lived in Connecticut at the time, so my dad drove into New York to like bring some stuff from. Drove his van in from stuff that helped me. Like these are things that I hadn't taken when I moved to New York, so they drove in with some of that stuff. And then my dad went and saw some shows at UCB. So get a sense because one of my teachers was uh, running a set at a stand-up show. So we did that, and he was like, "Oh, that's fun. Yeah, and that's a person, blah, blah, blah." And we did those things. And then, well, the set that my teacher was running was his set for Conan, like 2 weeks later. And my dad still really likes Conan and likes watching the shows. So my dad saw my teacher because I mentioned like, hey, keep an eye out, and like that really solidified what this nebulous idea of Pat's in New York studying comedy. We're not really sure what improv is. We know that some sketch comedy is on TV, but like, what is going on? Like the idea that like, oh, well, Pat's teacher was just on a very funny show that I like. Okay, all right, okay. I guess this could be okay. We'll go with that. And then when I got hired to work at UCB, then I was like, oh, I used my training and my connections to get like a full-time job in the field, at least close to the field that I was interested in doing things in. Uh, and that was huge, and that was like a big thing for them. Because yeah, I mean like I've been able to explain what this is, what we're doing right now, live streaming, sort of, because like I think that when I said like, oh, I'm doing streaming things, I'm building model kits, and people are watching. My mom was like, I don't get that. I don't get what that What are you? What is happening? And then, like, as my mom started getting more comfortable with what YouTube is, like, that's like kind of, I think, more, and she started to understand that a bit more and understand like what I was doing a bit more. Uh, it helps that I've had like, you know, like it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to my mom when I was like, I'm gonna go to San Antonio, because I had been like going to Seattle for convention was a weird thing that she like kind of understood, but not really. And Boston was just, oh, I'll go to Boston. I'm doing things because in her mind, like she was associating the comedy stuff I was doing with, it's like, oh yeah, well you're just doing the stuff you do. But then it was like, I don't understand why you're going to San Antonio. And I was like, well, there's a convention there, and I think it's going to go well. And the first time I went to PAX South, um, largely my success at PAX South can be narrowed down to two things. One, Jeff Gersman was doing my panel. So this is, so that is a huge draw for a lot of people who it was their first PAX. They hadn't been to Seattle, they hadn't been to Boston. PAX South was their first PAX, and they're going to go see somebody they've seen on the internet for a really long time. And it was helpful, very helpful that Jeff had promoted, which was very nice of him to do. Well, the other thing we had going for us was that Texas showed the fuck up to PAX South, and were just happy to have a thing. They were so happy to have a thing that on a Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I had almost 1,000 people come to my panel. And like, that doesn't make sense to some people that know me and know what I do. But that also doesn't make sense to some comedy people that know me and know what I do. To be like, I've been to 404 yet. You would get like 60, 70 people, and that was a good house because you had a Saturday, at 7:30 show, and you did a pretty good job with like not super well known names. And it's like, yeah, I could do okay if I like really promoted, really worked hard, and then like I can just promote on Twitter and then ask my guests to mention it to retweet me, and I can get like a ton of people to come see me do a thing because it's a small thing. If and when, because I will be doing something, I don't know if it's going to be 404 for sure. If and when I translate one of the panels that I've done to a streaming audience, the bump that I get from my normal amount of folks that watch me do model kit building, which I'm always happy you're here, appreciate it so much, thank you for being here, of course, I'll get a jump of people who are like, oh, well, this person's joining them. Oh, well, I like that as a panel, so I'll check that out. Like, the bump will be there, but it's not going to be the bump I get if I did, if I was at a convention of just people who are like, because oh my God, there's got to be hundreds of people that don't know that I live stream because they don't think about me outside of PAX that are like, because I every once in a while I'll get somebody that sends a message going like, not now, but like last year. I'd be like, hey, are you going to come back to PAX South? Hey, are you going to be doing this at PAX Unplugged? Hey, at PAX East, are you going to be doing more than one day of stuff? Because I'm only up there for Saturday. Like, and then I'll say like yes or no, and then sometimes I'll be like, I live stream, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. It's like, I do. It's not the same, but it's fun and it's cool. Because people don't, people know what's going on with them, but they don't necessarily know what's going on with everybody else. This is a side thing, tangentially related, but it made me laugh a lot. So if you're a Giant Bomb Premium member, you may know that the Hotspot is back. The podcast and live show, the Hotspot is back as a premium offering. Now, some people didn't know that because they're not premium, or there's so much content going out, they're not really paying attention. One of the people who didn't know that until apparently a couple days ago was was like Danny O'Dwyer, who is a huge fan of the Hotspot. I'm premium for 4 days more. It is And one of the other people is Rich, who used to host the show. He used to host the Hotspot. And they jokingly said, "Oh, we're gonna have Rich come on," but it was just really funny because like there's just like a lot going on, and to me, I was like, "Oh yeah, the Hotspot's back. It's on every Friday. It's been up for like 3 weeks or whatever." But to him, it was just like, "Wait, what? Oh." It's like, oh, I think I let my subscription lapse. Uh, but that just really made me laugh because he's just like, oh yeah, the thing I created, it's back. Um, that's always been a thing. Every once in a while, someone says something like, "This is the first year that I don't get premium in 7 years." Well, it's a bummer, Christian. It's the thing. So a lot of it is right. The way I try to look at these things is, uh, I I subscribe when tested when the whiskey media split and the properties moved. I supported Tested for a while there and their premium thing for a bit, and then eventually I realized, well, I'm not even really listening to the podcast anymore, which I could get for free, and I'm not really watching any of the stuff, and it doesn't really feel like a thing that I want to do. And that was a bummer. But then it was like, well, if I'm not using it, I'm not. It's fine. For me, Giant Bomb is a site that I spend a lot of my free time on, watching things. A lot of my entertainment comes from them. I watch a lot of their programming. Um, I like having ad-free podcasts. Sorry, pardon me. And it's worth it to me. Other people are like, are surprised when they find out that I don't have Netflix right now. Yeah, I only do Netflix like I pay for a month of Netflix every now and again. I'm gonna get Netflix at the end of this month because at the end of this month I'm gonna want to watch Dorohedoro when it comes out, which I think is the 27th, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but I'm gonna get that because I'm gonna want to watch that show legally by having a subscription to Netflix. Because to me that is a thing that I was like, oh, this is a thing I would like to do. Uh, I really enjoyed Middle Edition Sports. Oh, hell yeah, Lord Crushington. I'm looking forward to watching that. I've seen that a lot, in that I've seen both of those gentlemen do improv quite a bit. So, yeah, that's a thing that I would like to catch up on. Usually I'll get it for, like, Glow is back, or Castlevania is back, or some of the series that I'm interested in. If there's something that's really interesting that I want to watch, I often will, wait for it all to come out and then get it for a month, get it, and then move on. If at any point Funimation, we were at the point where none of the shows that I watch on Funimation, are on Funimation, then maybe I'll let my Funimation drop, which is, as you know, I switched from Hulu to Funimation because I wasn't really watching stuff on Hulu that wasn't anime, and they didn't get a lot of the shows I wanted to see this season that Funimation got. So I was like, okay, well, I got to get a subscription to Funimation. Okay, we're going to do that. Like, it is what it is. Although, I will say this. I saw an exchange that I enjoyed on a Crunchyroll thing. There was somebody put a comment on a video for a show that has just been delayed saying that Crunchyroll and Funimation should offer a discount because of all the shows that are being delayed. Because what if you don't want to see the shows that aren't being delayed? You just want to see the shows that are being delayed, and you're not actually being able to get them to watch them. And then somebody replied, which I really enjoyed, why are the shows delayed? And then the original person legitimately wrote out, because Japan's on lockdown. And it's like, and I'm like, I think the person wrote that they know. They wanted you to do the mental gymnastics to be like, oh, weird, we're in unprecedented, incredibly bizarre times. It's almost as if it's not Crunchyroll and Funimation's fault that, because guess what? They paid for the licensing for those shows. They want those shows to be up. It's not like they're like, oh, ha ha ha, we don't have to dub these shows that are on hiatus. Like, they're barely getting the dubs out now because they had to take a break from all of it, and they had to switch to a at-home model for all their dubs just to get those out. But, like, yeah, Funimation definitely wants you to watch. They wish they had all of the new shows so that you would watch their service. They want them. Also, because Funimation is in a weird business where they also they still make DVDs. They still make DVDs, and they want you to buy those DVDs. They really want you to buy DVDs still, which is a business model. So, like, you know, they still are Blu-rays. They still want you to buy the collection to own it at home, even though you're paying them to whatever. That's a side thing. But, like, yeah, they're scrambling. Yeah, they do Blu-rays. Yeah, they're scrambling to make sure that they, like, do deals for old things. Like, Funimation just announced, like, a few new shows that have come because they want to have that offering. They don't they don't want to have nothing, even though a bunch of their stuff, like, delayed. Because somebody was complaining about, like, the delays for magical. No, it's not Index. It's Scientific Railgun. It's just like, what do you want? Also, Crunchyroll still has the free. You can still have a free profile. You just watch. You get ads, and it's a week late. Like, there's still a free version. You can still watch it for free. Like, I don't like. Yeah, if you wanted to have a delay on the stuff you watch by a week for, you know, in the exchange, just do that. Like, if your Crunchyroll is so expensive and you're mad that you can't watch, you know, it's like, you know, hey, there are shows that have been delayed that I'm bummed I don't get a Gallon Dino this week. Gallon Dino is one of my favorite shows of the season. I wish that I could watch it this week. It's not going to have a new episode this week, so I don't get to see it, and that's a bummer. But I'm not, like, mad about it. I'm not saying that Funimation owes me money. Because also, if every show I was going to watch, so, real quick, my Funimation shows that I'm watching right now. If Shachibato, President, It's Time for Battle, which we'll talk about later. Gallon Dino, which is going on hiatus, which is a bummer. Kaguya-sama, Love is War. Kashigoto. If all of those shows went on hiatus, like, then yeah, maybe. And also, there's the Breakwater is also on hiatus. So, like, yeah, so right now, I am paying for Funimation, and I'm watching 3 new shows a week. That's not that many. But then it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll try Arte. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but maybe I'll try it. Like, I don't know. Like, same thing with Crunchyroll. It's like, I've been hitting the random button on Crunchyroll. Okay. Like, I don't know. For me, it'd be nice if premium Crunchyroll members could get some extra 40-hour codes to give the folks. That might be nice. Yeah, that could be fun. Like, am I saying that they shouldn't, like, give out some stuff to be like, hey, thanks for being, like, no, I'm not saying that. Like, nice things like that are cool. They are fun. If they are like, hey, we got this thing. Here's this thing. Here's that thing. Here's a thank you. Here's a because, oh boy, we signed this very lucrative but very expensive deal with Sunrise for all of this Gundam stuff, and we have all these Gundam Wing hoodies. Oh God, people are not leaving their houses, and also the weather is getting warm, and we're debuting hoodies. Oh God. Like, yeah, you should be totally like, sending me a discount code on shipping for your store. Like you definitely should be doing that. Like, hey, thanks for being a premium member. Here's your discount in our store. Please buy our stuff. I've got a year-long sub or whatever. It's not like I could unsubscribe. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, it to me, it's a thing of like, um, my Patreon went down about $10, but uh, my or it's like a little more than 10, but numbers here have been really steady and consistent. And in fact, there was a month where it went up of subscribers, and that means a lot to me. But also, if the subscriber numbers dramatically dropped, I wouldn't be like, this doesn't make sense. I would be like, yeah, all right, I get it. Okay, thank you for this. Like, sure. Um, it's a weird time. I dropped one of the only fans that I was supporting. I cut back on my Patreon a little bit here and there, mostly for people that even before all this, they were cutting back on the work they were doing because they had another thing, and what became a good side hustle for them was now an obligation that they didn't have the time really to dedicate to. But you better bet your ass that there are still people I'm supporting who Patreon or is their main source of income for the work they do, which is because they do interesting work that is hard to monetize. So I want to try to continue to support them as long as I can. Uh, and I don't. It's a thing of like I'm okay with people being like, I have to worry about me and I have to care about me, and I get that. Like I said, I like seeing the numbers go up, and in a couple minutes, you're right. I will, yes, I will be doing a pause for the cause. I will talk about ways you can support the stream if you're so inclined. But like, if you're not, I get it. Uh, I don't know who, but somebody bought something off my wish list the other day, and that's coming. It's going to take a while to get here, and I was just like, oh, cool. That's so nice. I'm going to build a real grade soon. That's rad. Thank you to whoever did that. I don't know who did it yet. Um, but like, that's just a nice thing. But it is just a nice bonus on top of just people, being here and hanging out. And that's my goal anyway. Obviously, with y'all is that I create an environment where people can have fun and relax and maybe find out about a new thing they like. Um, my next stream is going to be a game stream. My $3, $5, and $10 patrons are hopefully going to vote because I have not seen the update on how they voted yet on what I do on Wednesday. Because that once a month when I unlock my $3, that became a thing. Right now it looks like either I'm going to do Twitch Sings or I'm going to try to do that task that I tried to do last week on the Gauntlet, and I'm going to try to fill up that bottle of milk from that cow in Pac-Man 2. And I have no idea if that'll take 5 minutes, since I know how to do it because I looked it up, or if it'll take 2 hours. But we'll see if one of those wins. Which one of those wins for Wednesday's stream? Notice that Alex and Rory did a screened reunion. Yes, with Joey. They did a reunion thing for the anniversary of Screened. I think that's that would be an interesting conversation because there's been some talk about whiskey stuff, whiskey media, and because I know that there was conversations around doing because once you start building a site like that, right, where it is a combination of user-driven wiki material and building databases of information, and then also um, the face-forward look at presenters giving you information and creating stuff and focusing on the host-driven, personality-driven content. those combinations of things, applying the formula, because you get tech, movies and television, anime, which, oh man, Anime Vice was really well. One, Anime Vice is a bad name. Giant Bomb and predecessor of Comic Vine. Comics Vine was still pretty good, but Anime Vice was a bad name. But Anime Vice was ahead of its time, and I think that I think the genuine shame of Anime Vice was that they didn't know anyone that really loved anime to run it the same way that Tony fucking loves comic books, man. That was so smart. And Will and Norm live tech, of course. And hey, let's get Alex back and have Alex run movie stuff. Alex loves movies. Sure, that's a great way to get Alex back in the fold. And of course, Giant Bomb speaks for itself. But yeah, shame that the people that brought the screen site shut down quickly. Yeah, so the real thing is, Lord Crashton, is they didn't want it. Nobody wanted Screened. Screened can't make money. Because you can't make YouTube videos about movies and put ads in it unless you were a big enough site that YouTube is okay with you doing that. It just didn't. Yeah, Screened was a great name that just wasn't gonna. It just wasn't gonna do what they wanted. They didn't want Screened. They wanted Tested. Because that company wanted They wanted a place for. They wanted a built-in audience. They had good video content. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It just didn't work. They had good content. They had good chemistry. They had a great podcast. Podcast numbers were solid. They had all to offer. But the thing is, in the same way that CBS Interactive, I don't know this for sure. I can say some sure things about Screened. I don't think that CBS Interactive cares about Comic Vine outside of it being a resource that people go to, but I don't think they care about it as a creative endeavor, as a content creator and producer. But as a database of stuff, if you type in a character's name, you are often more likely to find their Comic Vine page than you are their entry on Marvel.com or DC's website. To the point that I have a friend who for many years worked for Marvel.com's website that was always annoyed that his pages that he worked so hard on were often the second or third result, and Comic Vine was always the first result. Yeah, he hated that. He doesn't care as much now that he doesn't work there, but yeah. But yeah, that was always a thing that Screened was just part of the deal. That wasn't a thing that they cared about. But oh yeah, their videos, they're immediate thought videos. Yeah, I thought it was great, and you get to see people be thoughtful about movies, and I remember there was one of their only. They didn't do a lot of branded deals, but they did a watch along thing for a Adult Swim show that had Paul Scheer call in to talk to them, and I remember messaging Paul saying "Hey, you're gonna do this thing. I know them. They're nice," because it's just another junket to Paul. But I was "Oh no, this is a cool community," and they're legitimately psyched about your weird parody show NCIS and Law and Order shows and CSI shows. Uh, so like, yeah, I'm excited to watch that. And he was like, oh, cool. Um, yes, it certainly. You're not wrong, Mr. Bob. Um, it benefits quite a bit from that work. It's just a thing of for me anyway. Like, um, yeah, I was always bummed because I used Anime Vice for research some stuff, but in the back of the day, and I was always bummed that it didn't get it didn't blow up. But the thing I was because I know that so the ones I had heard about the possible expansion sites back when Whiskey Media was looking to expand their network. The ones I always heard about was um, books and cooking were the two that I always heard. And I don't know how far any of them got. I don't know if there was ever talk with people or if they had ever had people or if it was going to be a thing where like folks that worked for them were going to splinter off. Uh, but I don't know. I don't know if any of those were ever going to happen. Like how far they got with any of those. Um, uh, and I wonder. I wonder if there had been like talk of doing tabletop stuff. If that had been in conversations, uh, because that in the kind of like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far any of those thoughts got. If we got close to having any of those sites in the Whiskey Media empire, uh, but it would have been interesting to see uh, if that had happened. I don't know. I think it was very quick from launch to where we're gonna sell these sites. Yeah, I mean, like it. So there definitely was a point where it was expand and see where things go, and then scale back. Like Anime Vice was like, oh, nope, this didn't work the same way that Comic Vine does. Okay, this is going to be a repository. We'll have a couple people that update some stuff. We'll have like one staff member that like writes reviews and previews or whatever. But we're not going to dig in. That's not going to go where we would like it to go. Um, uh, but some things seemed like there was a lot of love and effort put into them, and others it felt like it was, well, this isn't going to go where we need to go. And yeah, and that's a bummer. And then the Whiskey Media does what startups do, which is eventually you sell. You find buyers and you get out, and then you go and you launch your next thing. Uh, and some people leave before you do that, and other people leave during the transition or right after the transition, and then other people go along the transition and stick around for it until a certain date, and then they're done. And then other people are like, yeah, I just went along with it, and that's what I did, and now I do this here. And it comes full circle, and it's a complete weird thing. Oh yeah, that was a bad. So, Mr. Bob, I will say this. I was planning on becoming a subscriber when they were and the reason I ended up becoming one was the threat that had been made that they were going to basically like have like the second half of the podcast would come out like a week later than the first half, and it was a way to boost like subscriptions, I assume, and it put a bad taste in my mouth. There were a few of those. A few of those decisions were definitely not like their decisions, and probably the ends of lots of arguments. I can't say, wasn't there, don't know, but yeah, there are a few of those were like, this doesn't feel great. This feels like you are threatening us because it took a lot of production time and value, or a lot of production time, and there wasn't a perceived value. They didn't have at their marketing team wasn't selling things. Uh, yeah, and that was a solution for someone that like was like, well, this cost us X amount of dollars to host and run. Like one of the people asked like, why even bother putting this out on YouTube when it comes to the podcast? Because recently this is brought up, right? Uh, um, part of that is okay. So it's on. We got stuff on YouTube, right? Why is it on YouTube? Well, one of the reasons why it's on YouTube is because then you get numbers. You can look at numbers. This amount of people watched it live on YouTube. This amount of people watched it after the fact on YouTube. Because podcast numbers are still this nebulous thing that are weird and nonsensical and have gotten better, but are still not good. And then you could just point at numbers and you can go like, well, this is our thing. This is how many people are like. We can even tell you how many people will listen to the whole thing or how many people listen to it over certain days. And we have all this analytics and all this stuff and we can run ads. And it's a whole thing. Like there was that brief period there where like clips were starting to show up of like Giant Bomb and the Bombcast and Beastcast, like clips because, well, people are going to put those up anyway. Might as well be us. Yeah, it's just like a lot of it is. Yeah, like a lot of those numbers are just hard to get and inaccurate, and this is a way to get numbers to justify, and then by making it a weekly thing and you make it a piece of video content, you also are justifying it to people that only look at numbers and don't understand that like a portion of the subscribing audience is like, well, I would want to watch it during the day when it goes out live. Like I didn't usually do that. Now I do it because what else am I doing it during the day? When I had other things going on, I wouldn't watch it live. I'd still listen to it as a podcast, but I wasn't like mad about it. I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, we are due for a pause for the cause, where I will talk about ways that you can support the stream if you're so inclined to do that. As always, you're under no obligation to be a subscriber or anything like that. But if you're currently a subscriber, throw the barricade, the leg of the scythe emote. Let the people see that you are a subscriber here. Appreciate everyone who is. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel if you'd like. As always, you don't have to do anything. You just watch when you want to watch. If you want to follow so that you get notifications and you know when I go live, please do that. If you want to be a subscriber and you want to throw in some $5 here and there, or you want to use your Twitch Prime token because you have Amazon Prime linked with Twitch, you want to support me that way, great, please do that. You want to gift a sub. If you already have a subscription or you don't feel like subscribe to me, but you want to share the love with somebody and you see somebody here in chat that isn't, that's been chatting, that isn't a subscriber, or just a random person, hit the random button, you could gift a sub. That's another way to support the channel. You're under no obligation to do any of that. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Hosting the stream for other people, that's always a nice way to support the channel, but you don't have to do any of that. I'm going to just quickly go through some ways that you can do that if you want to. It does mean the world to me that people take the time and energy to support me here. It does mean a lot, but you don't have to. I'm going to go real quick through here some of these commands here. As mentioned, I have a Patreon. Patreon is another place you can go and support for $1, $3, $5. You got options, $10 a month, and there are different rewards for the different tiers. If you're on the $3 level or above, there's a poll that went up today about what games I'm going to play on Wednesday or game. So you can vote in that. Let's see. Donations. If you make a donation during the stream, I buy model kits and equipment with those donations. Because, the nice thing about this 3-in-1 is this has been several streams of building, but once I finish this last one, it's done, like a video game. So, if you would like to make some donations, I do buy model kits. I have an Amazon wish list. As I said, somebody bought a real grade off that, and that is going to arrive at some point. I don't know when, but that was purchased. I've tried to update it. You know, things are happening in the world, and so getting stuff up listed on there is tough. And folks are under no obligation to buy anything off my wish list. But if you would like to, that rules, and it jumps the queue. I have a bunch of stuff that I have in my backlog that I'm building. But if there's something in there and you're like, oh yeah, I'll build that, I'll buy that and pack and build it, like I would appreciate it. Again, you're under no obligation to do that, but it does help me out as far as model kit building goes. Having stuff to build, it is nice. All right, real quick here, we'll get back to building in a moment or two, but I want to just quickly. Oh, so I have another way to support the stream if you'd like, which is from USA Gundam Store. If you don't want to buy kits from there, from Amazon, you go to USA Gundam Store, and you can buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store, and then you could send me the code, and then I would take that code and I would buy a model kit with that. And that's like the best I can do for a site that isn't Amazon. That's the thing I can offer, other than obviously like me appreciating it very much. Under no obligation to do that. If you'd like to do that, that would be great. Really quickly talk through a couple other things here. We did that. Oh, I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. It's real low key. People post photos of stuff they're working on. I post photos of stuff after every stream. Join my Discord. It's nice. You deserve good things, so you jump in my Discord. Let's see. Couple links. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I gotta shoot another one of these this weekend. But here's Pat Bear. Or no, I got time. That's right, because I put this up this week. This was an episode of Pat Bear's Manga Club. I talk about manga. Check it out. Some recommendations and stuff to read, perhaps. You can read some things. Also, I have Baering the List. I'll have a new one up this Wednesday. This is Uno cards. I do a new one every week. If you meet it, get there. But yeah, manga is good. And also, you got apps now. You can join apps and get stuff and have things to read and put it on your iPad. Because you're not using... Look, right now, I'm using my iPad to control... using Touch Portal to control OBS. That's the only thing I'm using my iPad for right now. What else am I going to use my iPad for? You could put a lot of manga on there. And then you can just sit on your couch. Hey, go to another room. Go to the other end of your bed and pull out some manga and read some stuff. Yeah, totally. And then let's talk about some anime. We got some anime to talk about here, and not that much. So, as I said, there are two shows I could talk about. But I've chosen not to talk about them because I don't want to talk about them anymore. Because I was just like, meh, not really into these shows. But I still have. Oh yeah, actually that's another show. That's right. Because Princess Reconnect I stopped watching because I was just like, meh. Or Princess Connect Redive, I think that's what it's called. I was just like, nah, not really into that. I'm still not really into the show. Shachibato, President, It's Time for Battle. This was a cute episode. So, Harold wants me to play the soundboard using your Bear Cave points for that. I got this soundboard thing as a Christmas gift, and I'm going to put some... Yeehaw! Oh. Christian wants me to also play the soundboard, so I'll do that. And yes, this was a Christmas gift for my mom, and I was joking around during a Christmas stream. I guess I'll use this, and people were like, "Yes, please." So now we do that, and then also. Well, my roommate moved out. He left this, and now I have a gong. And then Lord Crashton wants to hear that gong. And then I'll hit it one more time. Nice and quiet. I have a decorative gong, and I get to use that on stream. And that's silly and fun. Anyway, Shachibato. So the first half of the series was like, okay, we got a new president coming in. He's the son of the old president who mysteriously disappeared. Uh, let's meet some characters. Let's figure this stuff out. And okay, what's our goal? Our goal is to get enough money to get the legacy that he donated all of this equipment to the museum, the town museum. So we got to pay this tax on it, and we can get that stuff back. Well, that wasn't the plot of the whole first season. That was the plot of the first half of the season. So now the second half of the season is going to be we need to get enough money together. We still got to get money together. We need more. We need enough money to be able to go into or to find out what happened to this guy's dad, because he disappeared, and they want to know what's up with him. So they got to get enough money to go see the Oracle. So this episode was not them doing that. This episode was, hey, let's split this episode in half. Let's spend the first episode hanging out with the president and one character, and the second episode, half the episode, another character. We got a little tsundere warrior character. She's fairly grateful for him, and she's come to respect him. And she says, this is the second half, hey, come with me, because I actually think the first half is more interesting than the second half, but she's like, come with me. I need to go buy a gift, and I want a guy's perspective, so you come with me. So we get to see them interact and see things and learn a little bit about the world, and it's nice and cute, and it ends up with, the gift that she wanted to buy was for him, as a thank you for all the hard work that he's done, and for him, 3, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Like that. For all the hard work he's done. And it was cute and nice, and he thought it might be romantic. It's not romantic as far as we know, but it could be. Who knows? It felt a little more slice of life than the show. The show has kind of been an action comedy, and this was a little more slice of lifey, and I'm not mad about that, because I do think that it was a fun episode, and it is overall a fun series. So, not complaining too much about that. The first half, we're gonna learn more about Guide, who works in the office. Now, what we know about Guide is that she originally, hey, Dirty, welcome. So Guide originally worked for the Adventurers Guild, so much so that in the promotional video we see in the beginning of the how-to video we see in the beginning of the show, she's in it. She looks the same. And then we know that she worked for, she was a longtime employee of our president, his father. Everybody else came, except for one person, everybody else kind of came in later towards the end and weren't there that long. But she was there for a very long time. And we find out that, like, he doesn't remember this, but when he was 7, he was, like, kind of protected her and stood up for her, and, that was a positive moment. And they have, like, this kind of, like, nice interaction. She's this, like, there's a comedic element to the fact that she's very overpowered. Like, she should be an adventurer. She is too good for the company, clearly. Like, she's just, like, kind of perfect and kind of on the down low about all of this. And it is like slightly like, you're like, what's going on with you? What's your deal? But she's not saying what her deal is. It's interesting. I would be interested to see, like, there are secrets in the show, and I don't care about most of them. Like, I don't care about the weird voiced monster that hangs out in a guy's backpack that we haven't heard from in like 5 episodes. I'm like, I don't really care about that. Like, I don't really care about, like, why he disappeared. I don't care about what the current president was doing before he took over the company again. Like, I don't kind of care about that. I kind of do care about what's up with Guide, because the flashback to when he's 7, she looks the same. Now, part of that could be it's anime, and they just didn't draw her looking younger. Like, that totally could be the reason. But to me, anyway, it feels like, no, there's another reason why that she's doesn't look like she aged, because she's probably like some overpowered like deity or something. I assume. But for a pretty like light-hearted uh, adventuring show. Also, I'll say this: it's the only show based on a mobile game or video game this season out of like 5 that I'm actually watching. So that's a pretty good, like, that is faint praise, but I compared to some of the other stuff that is out there that is based on a mobile game, like, uh, it's still good. Also, it's based on like a like you're the president of a company, send people out to do adventuring tasks. Like, it's got a whole story and characters, and even if some of them feel a little basic, like, it's still pretty good. I don't know. It comes out on Sundays. It's on Funimation. Shachibato. Yeah. Um. Okay. So, as I said, my regulars I either gave up on or they're on hiatus. Right. So I have less shows that I watch on Sunday and Monday. So today, during dinner, I hit the random button on uh, Crunchyroll. There's a random button. You get the. It randomly gives you the first episode of a series. I think on occasion, if they have licensed a series that they don't have the early seasons of, but they only have the later seasons, like, you get like that. But if they have like 4 seasons, you don't get season 2 of a show. You get the first episode of season 1. That seems to be what it is. So that's kind of random. It's that kind of random, I should say. You do get movies, and it is kind of over the place a bit. So first off, I'll start actually with the third one on my list because it's shorter to talk about. Captain Harlock. Now, I haven't seen Captain Harlock in decades. That and Galaxy 999, like those kind of shows, like that era of shows, like, I definitely watched bad fan subs or decent enough fan subs that were like on tapes that were taped off of tapes, and like, my history of that is like, this is like old stuff that I never really super got into. I have appreciation for these kinds of shows, but sitting down and actually watching the first episode, one, yeah, is it slow? Yeah, it's slow. Of course it's slow. It's a very old show. Like, it's not like cutting edge, but the characters are already pretty striking. That newish Captain Harlock movie was all right. Yeah, I didn't end up seeing that, but I did hear that it was like, yeah, this is all right, and good. I'm glad it was all right. But it's been fun to explore. Like, it was fun to watch this first episode. I don't know if I'm going to watch more of it. That's kind of where I come off of on these things when I hit the random button, because I only have like, yeah, I have 3 shows to watch for before Thursday: Tower of God, Eighth Sun, and Kakishigoto. But 2 of those come out on Thursday, so like, I could probably watch something else. Am I gonna watch? Yes, it's pirate. It's dirty. It's space pirate shit. It's very fucking cool. It's spaceships with skulls and crossbones on them. It's some dope, cool shit. It's taking the idea of like ships, like spaceships, space pirate ships. Like, it is cool looking, and I think like the character immediately like stands out and is intriguing, and like, I think like it was neat. It was a neat experience. As I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch more of it, but I think it like looked neat, and I don't know. It's kind of cool to check out. But one show that I think I'm going to keep watching, because I watched 2 episodes and got real into it, so I think I will keep watching it and probably talk about it on Thursday, is Konohana Kitan. What the fucking cute show is this? This came out in 2017. I was watching stuff. Why did I not know about this cute ass show? How did I miss this cute ass show? It's a world where animal people are real and do stuff, and it's a shrine run by all of these fox girls. And there's different personalities, and there's different wants and needs, and there is already seemingly a has a very like there's a very like masculine female but she's a female character, but is definitely presented as a masculine character. So there's a little bit of Yuri undertones there. I don't think it gets super Yuri, but maybe it does because it's predominantly female cast. I think all female cast. Um, but it's like, yeah, a girl like goes and moves into this like shrine to learn how to like work there, and hijinks ensue, and it seems cute and fun. And I was like, how the fuck did I miss this? And why didn't anyone talk about it? But yeah, I watched the first two episodes, and it's charming as shit. Redead Zora is now following, or yeah, Redead Zora, or yeah, I assume that's how we say your name. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, it's just a very cute show. Maybe it could get annoying. Maybe the main character is gonna annoy me. I don't know, but it immediately doesn't have a shitty human male dude in it, so it's immediately better than Senko-san, and I still really liked Senko-san. Uh, Although the point of that show seemed to be, if you work really hard, you deserve really good things, uh, including mystical things, and it's weird. Like that show just was just, I don't know. There was a lot going on in that thing, and I don't know if all of it was. I don't think all of it was good, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, this one just seems fun. Konohana. Uh, I hear that there is a creepy doll that shows up later that isn't that creepy, and that seems weird. And there's a lot of magic shit happening, and who knows what's going to happen and where it's going to go. Uh, but I am interested in more of it. Because also, like, you can only watch the same comfort shows so often. We talk about that. I mean, I talk about that here, right? Like, there are shows out there that you wanna rewatch and you want to give yourself the rewatch for. Um, but sometimes uh, it is you just have to be like, I don't know, I'm not gonna watch this like, for the eighth time this year. I'm trying to savor. One thing I am gonna do soon is I'm gonna watch all of Laid Back Camp again, and then watch all of Room Camp, because I've only watched Room Camp week to week because they're 3-minute episodes, and I've been looking to watch all of that in one chunk and just marathon it. And I was like, oh, well, if I'm going to marathon that, I should probably also just watch all of Laid Back Camp again, because Laid Back Camp rules. I don't always watch anime, but when I do, it's either Animal People or All Girl Cast. Slow Bird, I hear ya and I get ya. We're talking about New Game, talking about a great all female cast in New Game. The Rabbit, the lovely show, about the coffee house. The third season of that's coming out soon. I forget it. I haven't really watched it. Coco is the main girl in that. I haven't watched all of that. Or just like, yeah, sometimes you just want to watch like Yuri, or yeah, there's a new season of that coming out, Slow Bird, because they a song for it of the young girl and her friends sang a song that might have gotten postponed because of things, the situation. So that might have gotten postponed, but I do believe that is coming out this year. Um, and I know people really like that show. I never got super into it, um, uh, but I know that people dig that show quite a bit. Uh, I like that we have these giant tires, but this is a sled. This is like this thing gets connected. This goes in like this. And that goes in like that. I like that. You just drag along this thing, and it's just like a sled because you just drag along your big tires. This tractor just drives along big tires. That's very fun. But yeah, no, I think those kind of comfort anime shows are really fun. Um, you know, having a seemingly lovely show like Diary of Our Days at Breakwater, like having that be uh, like delayed is such a bummer because that's totally my jam and totally a thing that I would like to see. But nope, not gonna get that. Uh, but yeah, those comfort ones. I've watched Flying Witch again this year. I will go back to the well of my go tos. Um, I have not done a After School Dice Club rewatch, but I am planning on doing an After School Dice Club rewatch. Also excited because now I can watch that on Funimation uh, instead of watching it on Hulu. Because as you know, do not enjoy Hulu in its ads. All right, so I'm going to take a photo of this because we finished it. We're going to get into our next kit in a moment, but this is done. So it's time to take a photo, and then we got to clear off all these Lego. As I said, so this is done. We will be doing I will be doing a teardown of this and rebuilding it, the Monster Burger truck on my own time. But uh, but we will take a photo. Let's do it like that. Yeah. Tractor is done. There we go. Okay, so that's done. And now what we're going to do is we are just going to take this and put it all back in the box. And then future Pat will deal with this later. We'll just keep this aside. Just put that in there. And then we're just going to we're going to try to put all of this in here without getting too anxious and throwing it on the floor. Because I'll just go and, because I got to tear this down anyway. And we're going to rebuild because the Monster Burger truck is going to go on display. Every now and again, I just make the call, hey, you don't get this. I keep this. This goes on my display. I don't have a lot of stuff on display, but I have a few things that mean something to me and I enjoy. Oops, jump to that. But most things go out to you in the future. Have a great night, Harold. Thanks for being here on stream. As always, my friend. Hope to see you later in the week. All right. That's. But yeah. No, everybody's got those comfort shows. Sometimes they're TV shows. Sometimes there's anime. The YouTube channel Cruising the Cut put a new video out today. My man David out there on the channels, they have apparently, the UK has relaxed some of the things and are allowing for some day trips for people in canal boats. He put a new video out of him doing a day trip, and that was nice to see because those videos are relaxing. Gitama all the way. Yeah, Gitama. Yeah. That's a good comfort one. Yeah, sometimes I'll watch some shonen arcs now and again. I've been enjoying marble racing. Hell yeah, and Hot Wheel racings. Heck yeah, those are good times. That's some good times. Today's Bon Appetit was about grilled cheese, and I think it was like grilled cheese like 7 ways, and I would probably only make 2 of those ways. But sure, go for it. I'll say this. I'm not the most like adventurous person. Like, it was like I would not want a lot of the grilled cheese that they made, but there was one that was grilled kimchi, and it was basically a grilled cheese with kimchi on it, and I don't have any kimchi, but that sounds pretty good. Regular old grilled cheese is really my jam, but I'll try other kinds. Yeah, yeah, slow burn. I mean, some of them, like I said, some of them I was just like, well, one person put like pickles and um, did like a salami, like a quality salami, but I was like, you're almost making a cube in there. That doesn't sound bad. There was one that was like, it wasn't actually a grilled cheese; it was like a fried cheese because it was like fried in a batter, and I was like, that also sounds pretty good. Um, and of course, lots of people with the real secret for grilled cheese. You all know the secret for grilled cheese, which is you use mayonnaise instead of butter. That is not really a secret anymore. It for many many years that was a secret of the your working kitchen secret was to use mayo because mostly it is a coverage thing because you can spread it because your butter is most likely not room temperature. You're most likely not using room temperature butter, so it's spreadable this way, and so you can get what you need. You can get uh, you can cover the whole bread. It crisps really nice. It makes a nice outer layer on the bread. And it's also I like the taste of it. I like what it does to the grilled cheese. But you know that's not the whole thing, and everybody's tastes are different, uh, and everybody likes different things with their grilled cheese. Some people like using shredded cheese. Some people like using which I can understand. It's not my thing, but I can understand it. Okay, all right. Let's get our next kit set up here. Uh, Yay, mayo. Yeah, Boo Miracle Whip. Yeah, I'm not a big Miracle Whip fan, Dirty. Never really. Didn't grow up with it. Never really used it. Not my thing. All right, so we got a box here. We can get this box going. Lots of stickers. We got some eye stickers here. I think we'll have some choices to make with this. But yeah, we got a lot of stickers to help with detail. A lot of our gold detail here, but plenty of good detail in there. But that's what you're gonna get. Some connectors and all that. Um, got our. This is an SD. This should be a fairly quick build to do. We only got 4 sheets here, 4 spruces, 4 trees, however you want to call it, because it is a super deformed. So this should be a pretty quick build, and we'll be getting into the next build after that. This is not my first super deformed. I have done a few here and there. Mostly they are not this involved. But I've done the crossbone, I've done the death scythe, I've done the wing. So I've done a few. It's been a while since I did one, but we will get into that. We'll get into this build here. Oh, it's the view from behind. Okay. All right, so we'll do that. Okay. Yeah, so it's got the Gun Dragon mode, the Valkylander mode, and the Valkylander Dragon Fusion, which is just the dragon stuff on it, I guess. Okay. Well, Christian, I could see them being popular because the build, the personality about them, like they're very like fun looking. The cost is certainly not as prohibitive as buying like master grades and going through all of that. And then I'm sure that there are people who are just like, this is so cute. I want to own this. I want to put this on. I want this right now. Um, like I'm sure there are plenty of people that are like, I want to own. I want to own what's going on here. Uh, gotta have it. Okay, so I guess the head here, we're going to put one sticker on one side and then the other sticker on the other side. So we can go from uh, the big eyes and the no eyes. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of stickers to apply. Well, you're going to use our we'll use our knife here to kind of X-Acto blade here. guide the things that we need. We'll start with the back eyes here first. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure that it also like the kind of chibi cartoonish stuff works for some people. Some people that maybe they're like I really remember liking Gundam, but like I'm not interested in a series show, or I'd like something I could watch with my kids, and I love giant robot stuff, and I want to watch something the whole family wants to watch on a Sunday morning, some kind of thing. So we'll watch these cute ones running around doing their thing. And then oh, they want the figure, so I gotta buy it. Big eyes and anthropomorphized characters so well. I don't know. I just it. I like having some model kits that are reasonably priced and putting those in the old um, wish list. I think that's always nice to be able to have some options for people. And then also, uh, it's a dragon. It transforms into a dragon. What am I not gonna want to build that? What are you talking about? Of course I want to build that. All right, so we got some eyes on here. Did that, and then we will select the part to attach. I think we're gonna go with big eyes here. We can always change our mind, but I think we're gonna go with like the eyes instead of the visor mode. I have to tilt it up because that's not gonna help. I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna go with the blue eyes. I think that's the way to go. We're definitely gonna need this in a moment, so I'm not even gonna worry. And then we're gonna do 16 B117. Yeah, so this will be a pretty quick build, and we'll get into another thing. So, I did want to say, so I have a lot of stuff to build. My backlog's pretty good. I have some master grades to build. I have some high grades to build. I don't have any Lego right now to do. Um, but I'm making the call of what my next kit's going to build because it is never won a poll since I got it, and I got it in like January. But it is this thing, this guy, the Jengen Blastmaster. Um, I love its colors so much. It's got the double guns. It's a high grade, so it shouldn't take too long to do. I love the orange. It reminds me of like a Transformer jet. Uh, it's just got great coloring and looks cool, and it has never won any of my Patreon polls of what I build next, and I just wanted to build it. So fuck it, I'm calling audible. If when this wraps up, if the thing that was bought off my wish list comes, which is a real grade, then we will build that next. I will always abide by the rules set forth by that I've set up, which is that Patreon, not Patreon, things bought on my wish list always get built first, um, beyond stuff that I've bought. But I just really like the look of uh, that kit. Oh, we could go back to this here, and I just want to build it, so I'm going to, because I get to make that call sometimes, y'all. Like I said, also I've just had it for a while, and it's time for it to get built. Sometimes I gotta do one for me. All right, get the face stuff done here. Now we're gonna start applying stickers first. We're gonna attach a bunch of stuff here. Get a big old helmet to put on this thing here. We'll get some steps down. Obviously, I wanted to get this started because I didn't know how long the Lego set was going to take to put together. I knew it was going to take some of the stream, but I didn't know if it was going to take all of it. So I wanted to at least be ready to get some of it going here. as I said, the next parts of the week. On Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a game stream. It will be my weekly bonus game stream. I do not know what I will be playing. It will be something chosen by my Patreon. My $3, $5, and $10 Patreon are voting on what I build. Again, I do not know what they're going to pick. It will either be, right now there's a tie in voting for Twitch Sings and for me trying to complete the task I was supposed to do during the gauntlet in uh, what do you call it? In Pac-Man 2. So you can watch me bang my head up against that. Try to accomplish that task. So that is a goal. That right now those are the things that are winning. So we'll see. And most likely, if one wins, if the Pac-Man 2 wins, then I'll just do Twitch things after I finish, or I'll play some other. I think there was the idea was like Pac-Man 2. If I finish it before the stream's over, I will just play other things, play some other old games because I have some old games to play. That'd be pretty fun. And then Thursday normal build stream, Saturday normal build stream, the usual of those. Nothing too nonsensical. In a couple minutes, we will go and we will find a stream to raid. I'm sorry, the last time on Saturday we went and raided Adam Conover, and I was excited about it, and Adam's great, but Adam did not stream for that long apparently, so that was a bummer. But I never know when we go to raid. Like I don't, I'm not watching the stream. I'm doing this stream, so I never know if people are gonna be like around for a bit or not. So I do apologize that he didn't stream for that long, because the whole idea is to like give you some more stuff to do on a night. So hopefully whoever we raid tonight will be still streaming for a bit. Alright. And okay. And we'll do the same thing on the other side and probably call it a quits after that. We'll get some of this head done here. And yeah, I'm excited to keep working on this. I think this is going to be a cute little fun kit to work on. Shouldn't take too long to do. And then I'll work on my next one. Excited to keep going on that. But that'll be Thursday when we'll get back to building. Because like I said, play some games on Wednesday. Excited to play some games. Always excited to play some video games for everybody. And yeah. Alright, let me apply some stickers here. Sticker. Applied. This is the one that has to bend. I don't like those stickers. Never have. Because then you gotta like get the creases right. Fold them where it's supposed to be folded. I never feel like I'm doing it quite right. But I can see where it's supposed to go underneath and what it's supposed to look like now. So I think I did an okay job. Hopefully I did an okay job, and if I didn't do an okay job, okay. Alright. All I can do is my best, folks. That's all I can do. Learn from my mistakes. Try to improve the next time. These are things. Alright, so we got the parts that are going to be the helmet. We got to attach a couple more pieces to it. Put a couple more stickers on it as well. And then we'll start putting that stuff together the next time. Which will be the next build stream again. Will be on Thursday. So come back for that. Thanks so much for everybody for hanging out. Again, I'm going to find a stream for us to go and raid. So if you feel like coming along for the raid, please do. If not, I understand. But I hope you have a great rest of your Monday night. Anyway, thanks for being here. Reminder: if you have Twitch Prime, check. Hey, if you subscribe to me with Twitch Prime, just go ahead and check to see when you have to renew it, because you have to manually renew that, and make sure you like make a note of it. Be like, oh, in 16 days I gotta renew this because I use Twitch Prime, or in 5 days I gotta renew this. It's helpful. Uh, but yeah. Let's see. Who's doing what? Who's got there? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I think they've been playing for hours, so I think they'll be done. Um, we are going to go raid our friend Xandra because they are fantastic. She is the best. She made all our cool emotes. So we are going to go give her a raid in a moment or two because she's the best. So feel free to please come and hang out with us as we go raid Xandra. She made all the emotes, as I said, and is just generally a fucking rad person. So we're going to go give her a raid uh, as she's playing La Mulana 2. And we'll learn more about that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.